It's like I said, I expected New England to win, but I was hoping Jacksonville could find a way to pull it out, and they played a great first half. They went toe-to-toe with New England. They matched them touchdown for touchdown. They were getting some pressure. Their defense was holding up, and their offense was carving New England up in the passing game, which is what they needed to do. It would be hard to run the ball against New England when they know that's what you do best. And things are going well, and in the third quarter, things just fell. Jacksonville wasn't ready for this yet. They got their playoff win, which, I give them ups for that. So if there are any Jaguars fans out there, you guys took a step in the right direction. First playoff win in the, I believe, the Del Rio era. I'm pretty sure that's his first playoff win as a Jaguar. So, that is a step in the right direction. That's the way you want to keep moving. But defensively, Jacksonville did not know how to stop the short stuff. They shut down Randy Moss, and they only gave up a couple of big plays in the passing game. But you got to find a way to stop the short passing game at some point. You got to find a way to shut down Kevin Falk. Geez, sorry. And Wes Welker. And you got to find a way to stop Lawrence Maroney, because Maroney's not that great of a player. If you want to be taken serious as a great defense, you got to shut him down. So that's ultimately where it fell apart. And also, they just couldn't capitalize on scoring opportunities. You have to turn your scoring drives into touchdowns against New England. Field goals, get out of here. You're not going to win a game with field goals against New England. If you can't go touchdown for touchdown with them, you might as well go home. That's the unfortunate truth. And, I felt Garrard played a great game. Great bounce back from last week. I think, Jacksonville had a tough time running the ball at points, but I think they put up a nice fight and gave New England a little punch in the mouth for the first half, but in the second half, the third quarter, they showed us they're not quite there yet. But this offseason, they get a wide receiver threat. They get a Chad Johnson or Javon Walker. These guys are going to be available. If they get those guys, watch out. They got the cap room. They're going to make a lot of noise next year. And if Tony Dungy retires, Indianapolis needs to watch their six, if you know what I'm saying. Speaking of Indianapolis, at the point where Dallas Clark dropped that wide open pass that would have been a first down, I was just down. And, there are so many different things to blame in this game. The Colts defense did not show up like our defense. We couldn't stop Green Bay at all. Indy could not stop San Diego's backups, especially in the clutch moments when they really needed a stop. Well, at the very end, they got that stop, but I mean, like when they had the lead and San Diego went on that touchdown drive, you got to find a way to stop Billy Volek and Michael Turner. These are good backups, but they're backups. Indy did not look like a Super Bowl caliber defense out there. They didn't even look like a NFL quality defense. I gotta say, that's their preseason team out there. I think Rivers played a great game when he was in. Volek came in and turned in a nice performance. I think a lot of that has to do with Vincent Jackson and Chris Chambers becoming really good wide receivers. I think they got a little bit out of the running game even after LT went out, and that's a testament to the Chargers' offensive line. Props to Gates for playing well under intense pain. And San Diego, their defense gave up a ton. They could not stop the passing game, but they forced turnovers. They got lucky with some turnovers. There was a tipped ball, a fumble when no San Diego player even touched the ball. There was 2 interceptions off tip passes in the red zone. But, where other defenders might have not gained possession of the ball, San Diego did, so I give them credit for that. I'm still kind of in disbelief about how that happened, because Indy was marching up and down the field at will. On that second drive, after their first touchdown and the Hayden interception, I just thought, well, I'm going to go do homework because this is a blowout, and then Harrison fumbled that ball and everything went to hell. Still can't believe that, because you guys know I thought Indy was going to go all the way and repeat. And offensively, I thought Manning played lights out. If you look up, his numbers, he did most everything he could. He had a couple of unlucky interceptions, one of which was his fault probably. He had several drop passes, and he still threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. I felt he made plays when he needed to. Oh man, I still can't believe that happened. San Diego played a hell of a game. Rivers, again, lights out. And I personally don't like Phillip Rivers too much. I think he's an inconsistent player, but personally I just think he talks too much trash for a player of his caliber, but that's his prerogative. So good job, San Diego. You completely took me by surprise. This was my lock of the week. This was my shoe-in lock, take it to the bank pick. Norv Turner and Phillip Rivers going into RCA to beat Manning and Dungy. I could never have seen that in a million years. So, you came up with the big plays when you needed it. So, good job. Do me a solid and beat New England. Just because I think a San Diego Green Bay Super Bowl would be a lot funner than anybody else thinks. Finally, and as for what's going to happen to the Colts at this point, I don't even know. I suspect Dungy's going to retire, which is a big bummer for them because he's just such a great coach. But I think they can compete next year and win that division again and be a real good team regardless. Anyway, last game. New York, Dallas, upset. And even though I don't feel anything for either of these teams, I don't really like or dislike either of them. After the first 3 games, when I felt a little down, I think this one picked me up a little bit just because it was an upset. It was an improbable upset where a wild card came in, beat the #1 seed in their stadium, and I'm not trying to, piss off any Cowboys fans out there because I know there are a lot of you out there, but there was just something about it that was fun, that was inspiring to watch. Eli wasn't asked to do much, but when he was asked to do something, he did really well. Amani Toomer, an old veteran that everyone thought was just dead, he stepped up big time and had a huge game. The Giants kept their mistakes to a minimum. They executed right. They got a huge touchdown drive right before the end of the second half. And in the second half, their defense found a way to get a ton of pressure, just left and right. That entire offensive line of Dallas is going to the Pro Bowl, but, after that performance, can you say they deserve it? They shut down Marion Barber in the second half. They shut down T.O. They did everything right, and leading all up to that last interception in the end zone, it was just inspiring. And I picked Dallas, so I guess I would rather have Dallas win. But kind of a coin toss for me. I'll go either way on that. So great game, and I don't think the Giants can go into Lambeau and win, but they've proven me wrong this far. So don't sleep on them. I will pick Green Bay, but don't sleep on the Giants because they got something going on. Eli's finding himself, the defense. And as for Dallas, Dallas fans run the YouTube trash talk circle. I'll admit that right here, and I'm sure most will agree with me. They run this. There's just so many of them, and I'm subscribed to a couple of them, and I'm just surprised to see everybody be so composed and take it well. I mean, Halen, right after the game, he comes on. I come onto the video expecting to see some serious out of anger and frustration, but I think he took it well, like a man. He knew how to treat it like it's just a game. He can't get too caught up in it, but 2 days later, and he's saying, the more I think about it, the more it gets me down. So yeah, I feel for you guys. I do. I mean, I don't have any love or hate for Dallas, but to see your team play so well in the regular season and come up empty when you needed it, I can feel for that. Just as another sports fan. And, other guys, Cowboy TD, you could feel the pain in his video, and, he wore it on the sleeve, and I can respect that. However you eat your crow.